Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Shenandoah City Council meeting for February 8, 2023. The time is 7 p.m. I look around and I see everyone is present, so we do have a quorum. We're going to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The invocation tonight is going to be given by Mr. Derek Wynn.
Thank you, Mayor. If you'd pray with me. Lord God, we praise your name. We praise you, knowing you are above all things. We just thank you for the many blessings today. We thank you most of all for your grace. And we just thank you for your word. As your word says, that we may consider others better than ourselves. I pray for that today. I pray for the council today, that they would have the wisdom and the strength and the courage to make decisions that are best for all citizens for the city of Shenandoah. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. We're going to move on to item number 5, Citizens Forum. Citizens are invited to speak for 3 minutes on matters related to city government that relate to agenda or non-agenda items. Speakers are asked to stand up and approach the podium to address the council and give their name before sharing their comments. We have one speaker, Esther Lum.
Good evening. Tonight I want to talk about city litigation. Specifically, I'm referring to the 4-year-old Oak Haven case, which involves an easement dispute. Early last December, the Shenandoah Sentinel reported that a Texas appeals court ruled largely in favor of Oak Haven and against the city and 2 other defendants. I say largely because the court's opinion partially vacated and reversed the trial court's judgment, which had favored the city, and sent the case back to the lower court for fact questions. 9 days after this article, during the December 14th council meeting, Bill Farabee said, quote, "Someone reported the city lost the Oak Haven appeal. That is wrong," end quote. He went on to highlight a favorable procedural ruling for the city, which had no bearing on the key substantive issues. Basically, he left the distinct impression this litigation was over. But in fact, it is far from over. What he failed to mention was that a few days prior to that same council meeting, the city joined in a motion for rehearing. Now, we all know you wouldn't ask for a rehearing if you won a case. And the appeals court was not persuaded. It denied the city's motion on December 20th. The next regular council meeting was held about a month later, on January 25th, and the public was not updated about this case. But there's more. Just a few days ago, on February 3rd, the city has now filed a petition for review with the Texas Supreme Court, and it made the argument that, quote, and I've got the page right here, "If left uncorrected, the opinion below will permit any private property owner to deny the construction of key infrastructure in public utility easements," end quote. There is a litigation update listed under item 12 in tonight's agenda. Let's hope we get a full briefing of this case and an explanation as to why there seems to be a huge disconnect in what was reported in the December meeting and what the city is claiming in its petition with the Texas Supreme Court. Now, we don't know whether the court is going to accept the case, but it goes without saying we're in a new election season. People are watching closely to see how our elected officials respond to requests like this one. And anyone who wants to verify what I've said can go to shenandoahnews.com, and the links to the documents are all within our stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Ms. Lynn. We're going to move to item number 6, Introduction of new employee.
Mayor and Council, it's my pleasure to introduce Kirby Krenwelge. Krenwelge. It's close. She is the new executive assistant over in the administration side. A little bit information about her. She graduated from Texas A&M in 2016 with a degree in Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Sciences with a Professional Event Management certification. She's lived in this area for 5 years. She worked as a student director, overseeing 100 7th to 12th grade girls and volunteers. Also has experience as a teacher and as a recruiter. And in her free time, which doesn't sound like there's much, she likes to roast coffee beans for a local coffee shop.
Awesome. Welcome, Kirby.
Welcome aboard. All right, moving on to item number 7. Promotion of Ruel Porras to Assistant Public Works Director.
Yes, if you allow me a little moment to brag a bit about Ruel and really embarrass him, hopefully, tonight. So the recommendation is to promote Ruel Porras to the Assistant Public Works Director. That was a position that we had back in 2015, and that position was eliminated. If you recall, 2.5 years ago, we hired Ruel to fill the position of a project manager. And so he's been fulfilling that role here at the city for 2.5 years. But he's been a project manager for over 8 years because we hired him from an engineering firm where he managed easily over 100 projects, probably more. I'm probably shortchanging him for that company before he even came to the city. Ruel has done a phenomenal job with project management and was a huge relief for me at a time when we're juggling. I look back, in the year he's hired, we had 24 capital projects. That doesn't include the other projects in our normal operating budget. That's outside of our operating budget. And since then, it hasn't slowed down. I looked again for this year. I may have missed a few here, but currently we have 16 projects in design. We have 6 in construction and 4 have already been completed this year. None of this would have been possible without Ruel's help. I could only work so many extra hours in a week. But not only has Ruel been able to manage our projects, he's been able to establish great relationships with our vendors, with contractors, and has really taken lead and jumping in with some of the planning and decision making. And honestly, is already fulfilling that role as an assistant public works director. So that's before you to make it official. One last thing, as I said in the agenda report, with this promotion, the position of project manager would be eliminated. He would still be fulfilling those duties. That's part of the job description of both the public works director as well as the assistant public works director.
So as part of that interlocal agreement with the county, he's the project manager.
What's that?
On the ARPA funds.
Yes. So it's in both of our job descriptions to work as a project manager.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to create the position Assistant Public Works Director and appoint Ruel Porras to that position.
Second. Is this a voting, it's not a voting item, right? Just you announcing it?
No, it's just an announcement.
You just said you recommended the position, so.
That's true. I think it's.
It's not going to hurt if you vote for it.
Okay.
Sure. I'll turn to the attorney on that
We
one.
have a motion to approve the promotion to Assistant Public Works Director by Councilman McLeod and seconded by Councilman Fletcher.
Pollard.
Oh, Pollard, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries.
It's always great to have another project
Congratulations.
manager.
I just want to say that I attend these, the engineer meetings that we have every Wednesday morning and where Ruel is a major part of the of the briefing, and I thoroughly agree with Joseph on his ability to maintain his grip on all these projects. And welcome, and you're going to have your hands full in this next coming year with all these new projects that we've managed to get off the ground.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph, Kathy, council, and my family. They're probably watching, maybe not. But just really thankful for the opportunity. We have a lot of work to do for many years, and I'm really excited for the opportunity. Thank you.
Great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
If I could say something.
Yes, sir.
I've had the pleasure to work a lot with Rual over the last several months on projects, looking at the projects that he's doing and hearing him explain all that he's doing. And I'd even asked, as a coincidence, I guess it's a coincidence, Joseph last month, I said, who's replacing you? I said, we need to have somebody over there being in training because you're so darn valuable. I know you're either going to be picked off, recruited away, or we're going to promote you somewhere here. I hope it's here. But Rual is just, he immediately said, Rual is in training. I said, God, he'd be great for that. So I totally support it. Having good backup, great backup like you on our team is just great for our city. We're lucky to have you and proud of you.
Thank you.
Great.
All right, moving on. Item number 8. Discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of a half-ton work truck for Public Works from Equipment Replacement Fund.
Mayor and Council, this is a routine approval process to approve purchases out of the Equipment Replacement Fund. The current work truck is approximately 13 years old. It's come to the end of its useful life. Joseph was able to secure a $7,500 trade-in value, which is very good for a truck that age. There was a little bit of money left over after we do expense the chassis and also the lights and decals, and that money will stay in there for the next replacement amount. So if there's any questions about the truck itself, Joseph can answer those.
I think it's fantastic we've got this truck for 13 years. That's really, that means we take care of our stuff, we use it until we finally need to replace it. So kudos to all the staff for taking care of our equipment and making it last 13 years. So.
Absolutely, and I'll say, Councilman McLeod, this will take care of the truck with the faded striping. It's faded because it's 13 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion?
Move that we approve the purchase of the work truck with the equipment replacement fund.
We have a motion to approve the purchase.
Second.
Councilman Fletcher, seconded by Councilman Raymaker. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible action to adopt the following ordinance. An ordinance of the City Council of Shenandoah, Texas, authorizing participation with other Entergy service area cities in matters concerning Entergy Texas Incorporated at the Public Utility Commission of Texas in 2023. Authorizing the hiring of lawyers and rate experts, authorizing the city's participation to the full extent permitted by law at the Public Utility Commission of Texas, finding that the meeting complies with the Open Meetings Act and declaring an effective date.
Move we adopt the
Second.
ordinance.
We have a motion to adopt by Councilman Brott, seconded by Councilman McLeod. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 10. Discussion and possible action regarding a Veterans Monument design proposal from Landology.
Yes, Mayor and Council, you recall that originally, as we were looking at the Vision Park Pond expansion and amenity project, we had originally included a line item for the Veterans Monument to go in that park. After some further discussion and some checking, we found that let me jump back just a second, and that was all coming out of MDD funding. But during discussions and looking at it and more of what it was turning into, we realized that this was an eligible expense for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And so what you have, so that was pulled out of the MDD's project. And we decided it would be best if the city contracted directly with Landology. Previously, that was going to be through the contractor who was doing the amenity portion. But staff decided that it's probably going to be better for the city to contract directly so we can get keep better control of what that product is, and then also bid, once it's ready for construction, bid it separately so that you can get a contractor who does monuments, rather than one who does pathways and bridges and tries to find somebody to do monuments. So what you have before you here is the proposal from Landology for $29,500 to do the design. The plan here is kind of similar to what we've done with the entrance signs. As the initial steps they'll take is to put together some preliminary ideas that we can bring back to council for discussion and suggestion. And again, staff is recommending funding this project, and it'll be funded through the CVB funds.
Make a motion to approve the proposal.
Second.
We have a motion to approve it by Councilman McLeod and seconded by Councilman Rainmaker. Any discussion?
Will this memorial be grand enough to be a real attraction for veterans to come from all over the state to look at it?
That's
and visit here? I mean, really, 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 really nice.
That's the intent. As just a starting point, what staff told Jonathan with Landology was put together some ideas around the $250,000 mark, just to get us started. He also plans on having some elements that could be added or deducted depending on council's opinion. But that's kind of where we're aiming for the initial preliminary sketches and designs that he'll provide for City Council.
That Vision Park area is really expansive and has room to really do some incredible things. And I noted from last month's financial report that we have right at $5 million in CVB money that can be used to attract people here. I think that would be a major thing for us, so I would spare no expense whenever you're designing it, please.
All right. Thank you.
I think that's a good point. If we're going to make a memorial for our veterans, that you know, I know Landology came here last meeting and made a proposal for city signs, entry signs, and those were close to $200,000.
Correct.
I don't think $250,000 is going to cut what we would want to see for a memorial for our veterans, if we were to compare those 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what others' thoughts are with that, but I'm just thinking that $250,000 in a memorial in comparison to what the city sign was for $200,000 is probably not what we're looking for.
It's just I think it's gonna matter of maybe open it up a little bit for them. We do have that limited area, so
We do.
we gotta, maybe we can go up or out. I mean, you know, we have some physical limitations. We can't make a park like Montgomery County did in Conroe, but yeah, I think you can open them up a little bit. Just, I mean, we all know just the electrical and just doing the basic stuff is, getting the foundation sets 100K. So.
Right. Well, and I would hope that they wouldn't just be limited to that space, but even possibly look at utilizing the water as part of that feature that would give us more space and then open it up and include fountains, things like that. So I hope we would expand the mindset a little bit than just the norm that they might just be thinking at this point.
Okay, I appreciate that input.
I think John he'd do backflips if you could do something to really bring people in here. He's just itching to bring people in here, have something he can really promote.
Well, I think that would be a great project for our CDB too, to be able to highlight our city with.
Any comments, John? Or anything to add? I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, I think, obviously, and for the properties funds, trying to draw people here is something that's critical to that. So our ability to try and promote it via various veteran trails, websites, and documents that they have available, looking to partner with that, is going to be one aspect of that. And so we're going to have to take a real look at doing that and see how we can do that. So,
You're going to be an active member in this decision process.
pardon?
You're going to be an active participant in this decision process, then, correct?
Good.
Now, we, in conversations that we've had about this project offline, I asked you to look at the possibility of completion at a national day, either Memorial or Veterans Day, so we can have an event commemorating the monument.
Right.
I don't know how feasible it is. I guess when we start the talks with the designers, to determine about how long it's going to take to time it to coincide with one of these holidays.
Right. Those were some of the discussions that I had with Landology as I was working on getting this proposal. And I discussed with Jonathan the feasibility of perhaps Veterans Day, on November 11th, and he felt like that's absolutely a target that we
I'd
can
like to
meet.
be able to invite all the veterans of our city, and I'm sure we have a few, quite a few.
Yes.
I want them to be a part of this, because it's going to be, and I'll say this, it's going to be our, because I'm a veteran as well, it's going to be our monument.
Okay.
So I'd like for them to get involved. Maybe we can get some schools, maybe the bands to, maybe get Oak Ridge to learn the service anthems and play them.
Well,
I commit you to that, Councilman McLeod.
We can talk about lots of things.
We can talk about that offline. But yes.
No, I appreciate the input from council, in particular on the price point and what you're looking for. That's very helpful.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion and possible action to adopt the minutes of the December 28th special meeting.
Make a motion to be approved as read.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Brat, seconded by Councilman McLeod. All right, moving on to item 12, city attorney updates.
None tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did-
I didn't, I skipped right on it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now it's your turn.
Yeah, none tonight.
All right, city administrator updates.
I have none tonight.
No updates. All right. Council inquiry.
Pass.
I'm good tonight.
Councilman Paul.
Pass.
I'm good as well.
Well, I'm going to say that I've really enjoyed working with this council, and I'm letting everybody know that I really hope that this council continues to serve for the coming years. So,
You're here.
Thank you, yes.
We will do our best.
All right, there is no executive session scheduled for tonight. We are going to adjourn this meeting at 7:24.
Shortest one of the year.
This is my 6